Switch, there's a little glitch in the level called Triple Threat Deluge. If we bounce off a bumper, we can clip through a barrier of god blocks that normally can only be destroyed by the falling spike balls. We've tried dozens of times, but we couldn't manage to replicate the glitch in the Switch 2 version, so we can assume it's been fixed, or at least it's way more difficult to trigger. By equipping the timed high jump badge, Mario performs a high jump with a somersault if we time consecutive jumps just right. In the original version, while using this badge, each time Mario grabs or releases an object in midair, he does an additional flip. If we grab and release an object multiple times after jumping from a high spot, we can do several consecutive flips, like this cool quadruple somersault. Apparently, Nintendo considered this feature to be a bug, as they fixed it in the Switch 2 edition. If we release the shell in midair, Mario completes his first somersault and falls on his feet instead of starting a new flip. So the quadruple somersault is no longer possible on Switch 2. Unfortunately, while trying to fix this bug, they introduced a new one. For some reason, after grabbing an object during the timed high jump, the character's vocal yells start looping. This becomes quite funny if we jump from a high spot.
Hidden character blocks, as the name suggests, are invisible blocks that appear only when approached by a specific character. With the introduction of Rosalina as a new playable character, some already existing character blocks have been repurposed with Rosalina's color and emblem. Let's take a look at a few specific cases. In Angry Spikes and Sinking Pipes in Pipe Rock Plateau, near some green pipes on the ceiling, there's a new Rosalina block which was originally a Peach block. There's another Rosalina block in Rolla Koopa Derby, above a green semi-solid platform right before the checkpoint flag. This was a Toadette block in Super Mario Wonder for Switch. And here's a third and last example. There's a Rosalina block in Valley full of noodles in Sun-Baked Desert, past the checkpoint flag and above a slope. It was a Mario block in the original game. In the Switch version, in some scenes, there's a layer of particles in the foreground. For example, in the intro sequence, we can briefly see petals and leaves blowing in the wind.
Welcome to the Flower Kingdom.
On Switch 2, the same environmental effect has been slightly changed, and now shows way bigger particles.
Welcome to the Flower Kingdom. Welcome to the Flower Kingdom.
In PokePD Pass, the Wonder Flower triggers the fall of snow blocks and a continuous icy wind visual effect, mainly made of small oval snow particles diagonally traversing the screen, with very sparse bigger particles. On Switch 2, the number and frequency of the big snow particles in the foreground layer have dramatically increased. In the original Super Mario Bros. Wonder, there's a glitch which lets the character wander around the map while the emote menu is still visible on screen. To perform the glitch, you need to hold down the X button and make the emote wheel appear. Then press start to access the menu. Switch to a different character and after unpausing the game, make sure to hold the X button again. If done correctly, the left analog stick will now move both the cursor on the emote wheel and the character on the map. In the Switch 2 version, this little bug has been fixed, even though it had no game-breaking consequences. In the original version of the game, the player number icon in multiplayer has a fixed color. Player 1 is always red, player 2 is blue, player 3 is green and player 4 is yellow, regardless of the character of choice. On Switch 2, for some reason, things have slightly changed. The icons now change color based on the dominant color of the chosen character. As you can see, the same characters in the same order now have matching icon colors.
Here.
Another example, orange for Daisy as player 1, light blue for Rosalina as player 2, yellow for Yellow Yoshi as player 3 and pink for Toadette as the 4th player. We definitely aren't seeing Pink Elephant. Nintendo really took the time to make such a subtle change. On Switch, the player can find Captain Toad in 5 different locations accessible through hidden warp pipes on the game map, like this one in Pipe Rock Plateau, leading to Fluff Puff Peaks. In those same spots, on Switch 2, we'll find a more generic Brigade Green Toad instead. Here's another example taking the warp pipe from the underground passage of Pipe Rock Plateau to a secret room in Deep Magma Bog. The lines have been adapted for the Green Toad, but they convey pretty much the same meaning and mood. One more example, this time from Sun-Baked Desert to a hidden location in Shining Falls. Let's compare the two dialogues. Captain Toad has an all-new role in the Meetup in Bellabelle Park expansion, so he is no longer found in those previous locations.
In the original version, in the post-credits scene, we can see Kamek struggling to carry Bowser, Bowser Jr. and the clown car away from the Flower Kingdom, but they're too heavy, so they end up crashing into the ground. On Switch 2, Rosalina and Luma appear. They fly near Kamek and watch the scene. Like the petals in the intro and the snowstorm in Pokipede Pass, they added more particles in this scene too, so the effect looks visually richer.